The applause of staff and family as Boris Johnson leaves the lectern out the front of number 10 Downing Street. A speech which referenced getting Brexit done, his leadership throughout the pandemic, the vaccine rollout, which was the most successful in Europe. Of course, the matters to do with the Ukraine. A couple of little moments that, understandably, any Prime Minister going through their final moments. A couple of references to the only group that doesn't leak are the protective services that are around him. He obviously understands that there are people watching who may well be relieved or disappointed, he said. He obviously thanked his family, civil service and the Defence Forces. Now, despite some of the speculation and reporting that may have happened across the UK, and we've been echoing here for the past 90 minutes or so, he won't be going today. Instead, he goes when there is a new party leader that will be appointed. Now, that time and that process can take as long as 3 months. Now, obviously, if they all corral around one person, then they don't go through that process. But let me explain the process to you. Anyone who wants to stand to be leader of the party can. They then go through a party room ballot, just the same as we would have here in Australia. And then people start to get knocked out. If they don't have 8 people that support them for their candidacy, it doesn't go forward. And then a couple of days later, you come back. And if they don't have 36 people that support them, then that person drops out. And eventually, the parliamentary party whittles it down to a choice of 2. Now, MPs then don't decide who the Prime Minister is. Instead, they make a decision about who the final 2 candidates should be for the membership of the Conservative Party to then go and choose its next Prime Minister. That process can take 6 weeks because literally they have to mail out all of the ballots, receive them all back, and then there's sort of a mini election campaign that takes place, something that is very used to, say, in the United States with their primary system to decide who ends up becoming the candidate for the presidency, or most recently in times like Australia, where the Labor Party, after the 2013 election and also after the 2016 election, went through that process. And after the 2019 election, again, that was due to take place. However, maximum pressure at times like this can come onto candidates to whittle the field, to get it down to one person. Now, what's interesting about the race to replace Boris Johnson is who will be that person who steps up. Now, again, all of the names mean very little to people watching us in Australia. But remember, unlike most recently, the way Boris Johnson became Prime Minister, and interestingly, by the way, right now, if he finished his prime ministership, he would have ended up serving about 28 days less than Theresa May, his predecessor. However, because he will continue through the caretaker period, through that selection process until there's a new prime minister, he'll end up in Wikipedia going one in front of the person that he replaced. But remember, the fundamental reason for that leadership change was apparently a belief that Theresa May was not interested in getting Brexit done. It was about an idea. This is very much about a personality. This is very much about the straws of scandal that have taken place. So now, an open field. No endorsement coming from the current or the soon-to-be former Prime Minister about who his future Prime Minister should be it male or female. But it'll be a fascinating time in the UK.